Okay, there is an outreach program by the Ateneo High School called the Tulong Dunong Program. Originally, it was officially named as Tulong Dunong Tutoring Program for Total Human Development. That's the practicum component of their integrated socio, eco, and religion classes for senior students. Which started sometime 1975. It has evolved from there since then, no? But the mainstay is that the seniors will go to a public school once a week and for about 2 hours serve as tutors to the grade 6 public school students. It started to be, before it was very expanded. Some would teach English, math, drama, art, sometimes even sciences, no? But maybe during the 90s, it got streamlined. I think because they wanted to have a stronger impact in terms of what the tutoring does to the students. So they limited it mostly to English and math. The target is, of course, to improve the proficiency of the students, the public school students in those areas. That has been institutionalized in the high school. Again, because they wanted their senior students to have a better understanding of the social problem of poverty, and at the same time to make sure that they get an opportunity to live out the Ignatian values, particularly in the context of being men for others. Aside from the tutoring program, which was of course the brainchild of Father James O'Brien, SJ, there was an opportunity to extend the service to a scholarship. Pero that was more like an apostolate of Father O'Brien. It was not an institutional program. Which meant Father O'Brien had his own network of benefactors who got interested in financing and supporting these bright students from the public school to study in the Ateneo. Okay. So the backstory was some parents approached Father Brian because they were impressed at the transformation happening to their children, no? And they wanted to find out what was happening, and so these parents learned about the program and decided, okay, Father, we would like to support further these children. So yung makapasa ng Ateneo, papasukin. But of course, paano naman yung babae? And that's why Father Brian tried to convince Miriam now, Merilol then, Saint Comaricina, at some point Saint Bridget's, Saint Paul's in QC, Saint Joseph also in QC. Yeah, those schools to extend some partnership for the scholarship. What happens is the schools will offer free tuition, but Father O'Brien will try to finance, with the help of benefactors, the miscellaneous fees and other expenses. Okay? So, but when Father O'Brien died, of course, in 1994, the scholarship program was left hanging because since it was not an official function of the school, and he left a small sum, no? Small but still significant sum. The question was, since no one is attending to, or at least managing the fund, the question was how long it will last. So sometime in 2000, that issue was addressed when a group of alumni TD scholars decided to take some responsibility and pick it up from them. Okay? It was a loose organization, but no, there was no clear idea who's going to head that foundation. Again, this practically the same group of scholars with some of their kuyas, we call the tutors kuyas, decided to help also. Maybe these kuyas were somehow undergoing some midlife crisis and looking for meaning also in their life. And they were celebrating their silver jubilee, which was 25 years after graduating from high school. Decided, sige, let's band together. So, kuyas and scholars, all alumni, decided to put it up sometime 2000, maybe 2006, 7, 8, there about. I can't remember already. I was part of that group. Okay. It's taking some issues because you need full-time people for this, no? You need full-time people for this, but we're trying to manage it. The fund has grown again. We're able to maintain about 100, at its peak, maybe 120 scholars per year across high school and college. So, meron kaming pinapaaral sa high school, meron kaming sinusuportahan sa college, mostly sa Miriam, a little in Ateneo, minsan sa PSBA, PUP, may ilan-ilan sa UST, even UP. But for the most, the goal was for the scholars who graduate from high school, if they can pass Ateneo and they are good enough to merit scholarship, then mas okay kasi merong scholarship ang Ateneo College who can take over. But for the rest, most of them will end up taking courses in Miriam, and sa Miriam they can get part of the scholarship covered, and then part of that also assumed by the foundation. So, when you talk about tulong-dunong, really, as far as the high school is concerned, Ateneo High School is concerned, it's the tutoring program. But there's the other side of tulong-dunong, which is the scholarship or the financial assistance part, and that's where the foundation comes in. We don't. Okay, usually the Father Brian has already set some criteria before he passed on, no? And somehow that has been institutionalized by the group. What happens is we ask the public schools to rank their students, and the top 8, ano ba? Top 8, 4 na babae, 4 na lalaki. Okay? So, yung top 4 na babae, top 4 na lalaki are put into a special tutorial group. Yun yung tinatawag na HIHO or Higher Horizon. Okay? So, sila yung candidate. Sa grade 5 pa lang, nire-rank na sila. If they maintain their ranking, then pagdating ng grade 6, sila yung top candidates to take the entrance exam for grade 7 now. Okay? If they pass Ateneo for the boys, then
they get a scholarship from Ateneo, and then the foundation supports them in other expenses. Same true with same also for the girls, no? They now take their exams in Miriam and in Saints Co. Yung dalawa na lang ngayon ang pumapayag. Okay, it's been quite a while since the last scholars were accepted in St. Bridget's and St. Paul's and St. Joseph. So that's, I think, until maybe late 90s, early 2000, wala na yun eh. So, ano yung usual criteria? Financial status, performance, academic performance, department or anong tawag mo dyan? Character, disciplinary status, and then of course recommendations from some teachers. The foundation has nothing to do with the screening and the decision. So it's up to the school. Kung makapasa, doon lang napapasok ang foundation. So that wala kaming conflict of interest. Okay? So whoever will pass the entrance exams and will qualify for the ang nagsiset ng economic or financial criteria would be the different schools. So Ateneo will have their own criteria, Saints Co will have their own, Miriam will have their own. Aside from that, for instance, sa Saints Co, it's important that Catholic, both parents at kasal. Okay? Why you might ask, bakit ganun ba? Kasi if you are not familiar, many of the our subjects in the at the lower economic strata, most of them may be civilly married but not in church. Sa Saints Co, kailangan may kasal sa simbahan. Okay? So isa yon. Minsan nadi-disqualify ang bata dahil doon. O kaya dapat Katoliko. Practicing dapat yung pamilya at yung bata. For Ateneo at saka Miriam, they're silent on it. Kumbaga parang it does not matter. Okay? We had a big fundraising last 2015 to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Tulong Dulong. No? We had a concert dito sa Irwin. We generated roughly $1 million, I think. And ano na yun, gross yun. We wanted it bigger, pero of course, circumstances, medyo nahirapan kami. But we hope to follow it up with another one kasi most of the artists, well, actually all of the artists then gave their talents for free. And they're willing to do it again with more preparation. Kasi that was, ano lang yun short notice yun Okay, if you follow up from the interviews, we do exit interviews, no? So for the most part, people, the scholars are they're very grateful. The families are very grateful, and many of them would actually claim that things would have changed differently. I mean, the course of their life would have been very different if not for that. The tutoring itself made a difference, definitely, both ways. For the public school kid, it gave them confidence. It gave them an opportunity to even dream of studying in an exclusive school. Otherwise, wala. I went through that. Okay? I came from a public school. I would not have imagined myself going to Ateneo. But I managed to graduate, not just from the Ateneo High School, but from the Ateneo College. And because of that big boost, I was able to pursue, okay, my studies and eventually become a doctor. Okay? So, ibabalik ko lang rin yun, and that's why I'm now handling the program. Okay? For the tutors, the kuya, you might wonder, kaya nga nagkaroon ng impact yun kasi kaya nga yung mga magulang, lumapit kay Father Roy, Father, ano bang ginawa mo sa anak namin? Bakit bumait? Bakit biglang naging responsible sila? And that's because, yun, people, I think for the Ateneo High School boys, it was an awakening of some sort, that there are people in society who need help, people we are prejudiced against, and yet we realize they're not different after all from us, people who we can care for and now begin to talk about poverty and social justice in the flesh, not something abstract, not something that you just read about, or something you can actually live with. So, if you ask graduates of Ateneo High School from the late 70s to the present, and ask them what is one experience from the high school that they will always cherish or go back to, I would probably say 80 to 90% will immediately talk about tulong. Well, maybe it will take a while, but what is it? What does tulong-dulong provide us? It provides social interactions. Social interactions between classes that would not normally interact. No? You might say, but that's a very small segment of the population. Yeah, true. But over 42 years now, ang laki na nun. Kasi you now have connections, no? So many, I get requests now from some entrepreneurs and employers, send me your graduates in the program. Because they know that for the most part, these tulong-dulong scholars are not only driven because they're out to prove themselves na if only we had more resources, we can actually become more productive. We can actually contribute also to society and not be burdened in society. Okay? But, you know, given the opportunities, we will maximize it. I tried to. Okay? There's this blogger, si Shaira Habon. Try to look her up. She's an entrepreneur. She's a blogger, and she was a student-dulong scholar. Okay? You know Sip and Go? You enjoy their work? They are, the owners are tulong-dulong scholars. You know, well, Sponge Cola, the bass guitarist, si Gosh, tulong-dulong scholar. Yael, the lead, pagka tinanong mo yan and ask him to do something for tulong, walang hesitation. Okay? You know Angel Aquino? Tulong-dulong scholar. I mean, those are the big names, but there are many unnamed big personalities who have, you know, I wouldn't say took advantage, but who were able to maximize those opportunities. Because that is what tulong-dulong is about. It's supposedly a legacy of opportunities.
tulong-tulong will only give you opportunities. What you make of those, bahala ka. Okay, that's a very good question. We don't just drop scholars, no? Usually, what happens is, meron naman kaming regular monitoring because we don't want that. But every now and then, maybe, at least in the recent history, out of 700, 800 scholar, 800 scholars so far. The number of dropout because of academics, just because of academics, maybe 2, 3. For the most part, the real threat is the social conditions that they are in. Minsan, they're just in deep poverty that no matter how much we help them, mahirap. Kasi, pag uwi nila, dun pa rin. Diba? Hindi mo naman mabago yan. And that's why also, we're very careful, no? If they come from very, very deep poverty situation, poor situations, conditions, hindi namin pipilitin. We will support them in another way, but definitely hindi mo pipilitin yan mag-Ateneo or mag-Saints Cornelius. Kasi every time papasok sila, nakikita nila yung napakalaking gap. And that will be really heavy for them. So, we send them to another school and then try to support hanggang kaya kung gusto pa rin nila. So, hindi ganun kadali. This is not just a question of, okay, bigyan kita ng pang-tuition. An integral part of the program really is formative, no? Formation. Kaya nga, we are trying to be true to what Father O'Brien envisioned, which is total human development.